First of all, we need to move the seat into the front. So we use this lever over here. Now we can see this panel over here, which is where the fuse box is. And here we have 4 screws. So for the 4 screws, we're going to use this, and we unscrew them. 1, 3, and the last one is over here. Okay, put this here. Now it's time to remove the fuse box cover. So we can use a screwdriver to just pull it out from here. This is only using buckles, so we have a couple here and a couple over there. Okay, this is the fuse box. The other we want to remove is this one. Okay. After we remove all the covers, we can pull out this one, and we can go to the next set of screws. We can also remove this cover, which can help us out. Just pull it out like this from under to up. Now next step is to remove everything which is over here and remove this cover. So how we do that, basically we just need to pull it out. After we pull out the nut, we can just erase it, but pull it out maybe would be easier for us. Okay, so now what we need to do is to pull out the cover over here. Now this cover is connected to this one. So what we need to do is to remove the screws over here. So that's what we're going to do next. Same head like just the ones we did just before. 1, 2, and the third one is over here. All right, make sure to not lose the screw and the nut. Okay, let's put these things in a better place. Okay, now we can pull out this one. Here is the connection for the antenna. You can use a small screwdriver to help yourself to push this point here, and then you can pull it out easily. Otherwise you can use your fingernails if they are small enough. That's not my case. Then you can remove everything. Okay, so now it's the time we need to use the CarPlay module. You can disconnect or you can don't disconnect battery. It's not a big problem. We recommend to disconnect, of course. This is your head unit. The part number on the label might be slightly different, but it will be the Z unit. And you will recognize it from the position and from the connectors over here. So before we touch the head unit, let's check our CarPlay module. So this is the main module for CarPlay and Android Auto. Here we have 2 antennas for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. This is the video signal, you have power, and here we have USB. So first of all, we put this aside, remove the over cover, and this connector, as you see, as the USB female, this doesn't need to be connected for now, we can leave it. This one, as you see, is with a blue exit which goes to the CarPlay display, which is this one over here. So this one can be connected already. As we prepare ourselves to connect it to the head unit of the car. So basically those wires will stay in the middle between the head unit and the car original connectors. And since the connector match the ones on the car, you cannot get them wrong. For now, let's leave the CarPlay unit here and let's take the other cables. So the other big cable is this one for power. Last, we have the two antennas, which may be like this or maybe a little bit different. The ones we sell is usually another kind because they're much more easy to install. But either way, the antenna installation is just simple. Just connect it over here. No matter which one you connect, they are the same. That can be an easy first step. All right. So the other cable is this one over here. This white connector goes over here. All right. So where do we connect those ends? It's not difficult. Actually, we just need to check the head unit over here. So here we need to disconnect this connector. Now you cannot just pull it out. There is a small buckle on the bottom, which I'm using a screwdriver to have myself push. Take your time, as you don't want to damage the connector. I don't want to buy this connector. Okay, once you push it, you will see it just goes out very easily. So just make sure you push it before you try to pull out. Otherwise, you will have to use a lot of strength and you will destroy something. Maybe easier with your fingers. That's the buckle. So when you need to push, you need to make sure that something is pushing it a lot. You need a lot of strength. So sometimes fingers will be better than a screwdriver like this. So after we disconnect this one, we go back to the CarPlay wiring, which is exactly the same, but male. So this is the female, which goes to the head unit, right? And we need to find a male in our cabling. So here you can see this one has the pins, so it's a male. This other doesn't have, looks exactly like this one, so it's a female. So those two go together. Okay, we connected it. And now this one, which is exactly a copy of the one we just removed, goes where that one was. Make sure the buckle is facing down, and then it will go in. Easy. So in this moment, this part of the cable is completely connected. We need to do only this part now, which is on the other side of the head unit. So we need to move over here. Okay, so on this side, we have two connectors. One is the white one, big one. We have male and female over here. Another one is the green one. We have male and female over here. So since we have several connectors which are white and green, we need to find the correct ones. Now this one on the most towards the rear wing of the car is not the one we want. The one we want is just immediately next. We can press the buckle on top and pull it out. The other one we want is the green one, which is under, not the one on top. This one also has a buckle on top, so we can push it down and then we can pull it out. So after we do this, it's time to connect our cables. Green with green, male with female. And once it clicks, you know it's connected properly. And then white with white, also here, male with female. Next step is to connect the females of our kit cable to the head unit where the originals were. So I'd recommend to start with the green one because it's the smaller one and it's a little bit more nasty to handle otherwise. Buckle faces up and it goes in. Second one, same logic, buckle faces up and it goes in. Okay, now if the battery of your car has not been disconnected and you give power, you will see those LEDs turn on. So let's see if it happens. So now we have power and the CarPlay LEDs are on. If we disconnect the power cable, this one, they will go off. So this is the easiest way to know if you connected properly the power to your CarPlay. So next step is to see if everything works fine, but just before that, we need to connect the USB cable in case we need it. This cable usually is not needed, but we will install it because in future, if you want to make a firmware update, you will need this. So just install it over here. And then the only important one here is the USB female. This one over here. You want to be able to reach it so you can make updates later. The others, this one is a jack for the microphone, which we don't need to use because we use the original car microphone. And this one is a cable which is not needed either. So you don't need to worry about those two. Just connect this one. To connect the CarPlay to the phone, what we do first of all, from iris system, we press the music button for a while. It will jump to the CarPlay module view. CarPlay module view, the most important thing to know is the settings will allow you here to change the language. So if you don't understand, you can do it over here. Then we select Bluetooth and we try to find this McLaren 055B on our iPhone. Over here we found it and we pair. Allow, connect, and we will be in. Okay, so the button McLaren just allows you to go out back to the menu. And everything else are just your apps on your phone. But until now, although we have everything working, we need audio. So to solve the audio part, we need to go back into the iris system by pressing this button. And then connect our phone from settings. We go to connectivity. Then we select device pairing and we add a new device. Then we need to search for McLaren 100M in this case. Every car may be different. And over here we need to find it to connect the audio part, microphone and speakers into the car. So we press McLaren 100M, pair. Okay, let's confirm, allow. Once connection is done, we can have music from the phone to the car, regardless of whether we have our CarPlay device or not. This is just a regular procedure. But we also may need to go to the main menu. Bluetooth audio. Let's make sure. Okay, the device is selected already. All right. So now we connected. Let's try to play some music. Hey Siri, play some music. Play some music.
Now playing QQ music.
Hey Siri, open maps and send me to the closest school.
One option I found is Helio number 3 Middle School on Long. Starting route to Guangzhou Chenglong Education Group Bayan Chenglong Middle School.
Let's try this button now.
Head north on Wixi Huanan Road.
Open messages. Mute and unmute. All work. We can go to the air conditioning system. But if we go out, it will bring us to the, not to the CarPlay view, but to the phone view, to the iris view. To go back to the CarPlay view, we can directly press this. Those two buttons currently don't do anything. This one will act as a return button. Hey Siri, call 133-8183-6397.
Calling +86 133 8183 6397.
And we can get calls as well. Now it's time to try it on the road. So let's take it for a drive. So now that we make sure that the module works, what we do is disconnect power for a second. And we need to assemble everything, right? So we found this is a decent position. It has a decent isolation from temperature. It's far away from the head unit, which actually can get very hot. And we can connect it using those strips, which should make it easy for us to keep it in position without having to make major modification. Okay, now it's time to put everything back in, and then we can test it for a drive. First we connect the antenna to the connector, and then we can put this cover back in. The last of our first set of screws. Then we can move on the next thing. Okay, next step. Next set of screws is the same like this, 7mm. Let's start to install them also, so we can put this cover back into place. All right, the other side now. Last two screws. We install this one on top. Okay, now it's time for this one. Make sure the white part stays on the inside. Then you must make the mat fit inside. You will pull out the USB wire for CarPlay, firmware update, and for CarPlay and Android Auto by wire. But if you don't need it, you can leave it inside, but I recommend to leave it out even if it's hidden, because in future you might need it. Hopefully not, but you never know. Now make sure the screws over here are visible, because we need to install the 4 screws over here, and we are done. Okay, now we install those panels. Following this, we insert this part inside and inside here. Okay, all done. The last are the 4 screws over here. Last step is to connect this nut into those places over here, 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 and here, and we are done. So